You are now watching a part 2 of how to buy a second-hand car in South Africa. If you haven't seen that a first part of that video, then I will put that video in the description box below. There will be a link to direct you there, or alternatively, I will put it in the comments down below. And again, a disclaimer. If you are buying a car, a second-hand car, then please make sure you do your due diligence. And if you don't do that, then it will be your own fault for not checking out the car that you want to buy. So enjoy the rest of the video of how to buy a second-hand car in South Africa, part 2. Let's go. Previously on Cars and More. We are next to a highway where cars are speeding quite badly. Some of them are driving over 160 kilometers an hour. If you are buying a car which paint looks like that part is darker or that part is lighter, then you must know that car was in an accident. A lot of people drive with those hideously black bumpers, which it looks quite hideous if you ask me. And if you are buying a car with a cracked windscreen, which number one is very illegal to drive in South Africa because it will have an effect on your visibility, then as a belief. Also make sure your tires are not that smooth. It must be like this, alright? And if your tire is very smooth like Ikumazi, then you must make sure you replace that tire immediately. You don't want to look all the time at the headlining of that car that person is going to buy. You want to look at the road ahead. As you can see, you want to look at the road. You don't want to look at the headlining all the time, because they expected the car must be extremely reliable without having to spend any money on a car that they are going to buy. Alright, let us go to the service book of my car, which you must check in that glove box whether that car has a service book and to see whether the car has a full service history or a partial service history. And if you see that car hasn't got any records of its servicing, then you mustn't buy that car at all, because you don't know how that car was serviced in the first place. But let's go. This is a service book of this particular car of mine, the Renault Kwid, and I do apologize for the service book looking like a dog's dinner. But anyway, let me show you quickly on my servicing over the past 8 years. Let's go. Alright, as you can see here, it's a little bit spoiled right there. Yeah. And as you can see there, it shows you the service intervals, which in this case it is 15,000 kilometers or 12 months, whichever comes first, as you can see there. And if you go to the next page, then it will tell you what must be replaced. Like say the replacement of the air filter must be done every 30,000 kilometers or 2 years, whichever comes first. And I will give you some information that is on this service book that you must take note when you are servicing your car. You can pause it to read through and check what must be replaced. I hope you guys understand what that means. Let's go to the servicing of this car. Before we even look at the servicing of this car of mine, let me give you some information that is on the service book. Again, you can pause it to read through. And as you can see there, what type of oil does a Renault car use? Like say the viscosity index is 15W40 for the petrol engine. So which means if you are servicing your car on your own, you must use that recommended oil. So let's move on to the next page. Right, as you can see here, that was my first service back in 2018 on the 10th of August with a mileage around 8,885 kilometers on the clock. And as you can see there, they only did those two parts with the Kwid: your oil service and your air filter, plus your oil filter. And there's that stamp. And also your mileage written there on when is the next service, or the date written there. If you achieve the mileage before that mileage of say 23,885 on the clock, or if your car doesn't reach that mileage and it reaches that date, then you must take the car on that date to your service. All right. And as you can see there, the next year it was much less than that, and also the oil that they use on the service. And as you can see, plugs was changed in that year, and same goes for the next year, but added to the air filter, not air filter, the pollen filter, which is under the clutch. Go to the next page. There you can see there 2022, 2023, but more work was done to the car. And also this was the last service. Again, oil service with oil filter, air filter and pollen filter, and the oil that they use with the Kwid. And as you can see here, that is the next miles which the Kwid must go in or on that date. Should I not reach that mileage, but if I reach that month, then I must take the Kwid to its next service, which it will be a major service, and that means the Kwid service is up to date. So make sure that car you are buying does have a full service history, or its service is up to date. Don't buy a car, like I said, without a service history. Like say, has been serviced by someone's backyard and he doesn't record the services. That could be a major red flag if you ask me. So let us go to the both side of a car that you are going to buy. Before we move to the boot side of a car that you are going to buy, I forgot to mention about the headlight adjustment, which, if I can put my fingers in there, you must check whether the headlights goes up or down, like so, up or down. And if the headlights doesn't go up or down, then you must know there is something wrong with the mechanism of that headlight adjustment. So you need to check whether the headlights go up or down to see where you are going at night. But I will show you later on how the lights work in any car that you are going to buy. So now let us go to the rear end of a car that you are going to buy. Right now we are checking out the boot of a car that you are going to buy, and you can open it in two ways. Either this key that you are seeing right there, or a lever in the cabin to lift up your boot of a car that you are going to open it. Let's go. Firstly, if you are opening via a key, make sure that this part is in a working condition, like so. And if you see that the boot doesn't want to open by turning the key, which I will update you in my part 3 video of the Renault Kwid ownership, then you must know there is something wrong with the boot barrel lock opening thing. Right, once you open the boot of a car that you are going to buy, and you lift up like this, then it will reveal you the boot of a car that you are going to buy. I do apologize for the groceries in the boot. I was at the shops just now to buy some stuff. One thing to note is must check whether the boot is sufficient enough to put in all your groceries in there, or your cooler bag with the chair and some beer bottles in there. If you know, you know. You people who like to drink over the weekends. Anyway, check whether the boot can accommodate all those things that you are going to take. And also check whether the car has a 60-40 split seat, to put down one seat and to carry some items in the car, like say some planks or whatever, and leave that seat up if you want to take some passengers with you. As you can see here, the Kwid doesn't have a 60-40 split seat, so this is a single piece in which you can pull those levers on the side to put it down, and that means you have to make a compromise. Either leave the passengers at the side of the road, or don't put any long items in the boot and leave the seats up. And one thing to note is check whether the boot start is in a working condition, like so. And if the boot doesn't stay up like this, then you must know these boot struts are worn out. If this boot that falls on your head, which you have to be very careful about that, then like I just told you, those boot shocks are worn out. And also check whether this rubber piece that you are seeing right now of my car, you must check whether the rubber lining is in a perfect condition, so that you don't have to get wet when it is raining very badly on, let's say, we are in a rainfall winter region, so which means we do get a lot of rain in winter time. So make sure you check that rubber out. And if you see a huge tear on the rubber itself, then you must replace that rubber part of your rear end of a car that you are going to buy. And also so that your passengers doesn't get any raindrops fell from the back. And let me close the boot. And also, if this thing doesn't want to close properly, again, then that thing can wear out quite quickly. So you have to check at your nearest spare shop for one of these. And also for one of these, should the boot doesn't close properly, or should the boot doesn't slot in properly. Let me close the boot. And speaking of strut change, can anyone let me know in the comments below where can I get some boot struts for the Renault Kwid? I asked in my part 2 video of my ownership update, but no one has bothered to comment down below. So if you know where can I get the boot shocks of the Renault Kwid, then let me know in the comments down below. So let me close the boot. Which you can do it with one thing, which you can do it with one finger, and there she is shut. And like I previously mentioned, when you're buying a car, especially to the rear end, make sure the linings of the rear end are perfect, like so. And like I said, if you put in 14 fingers, then again that car was in an accident. As you can see here, my fingers doesn't go into those gaps. Or either the gap is this small on that side, that's small, and it is bigger on the right side. Again, that car's repair job was done very poorly. Right. let us move to the engine of a car that you are going to buy. Let's go. I forgot to mention regarding to the car's paint, you must check whether the car hasn't got any rust on the outside. The most common rust spotting places you would find is down there. You will likely to see some rust, some on the fender, maybe on the door, but that is very rare on the doors. But the most common rust that you will definitely find is on the boot, especially here. You will definitely see some rust around here, and you need to take that rust out. You need to take out that rust that is rusting there and replace it with another material to stop it from rusting, and also to put in some rust proof on there so that the car doesn't rust any further. And what I've mostly seen on some Hondas, but I've seen on videos, is they get rust around here, around the wiper tray side. So please, if you can, try to lift out that wiper tray to see whether there are any rust that is rusting there. And again, if you see any rust right there, then you must take out the rusty part of that car. And the same on the inside by the floor side, like say in the passenger side, where on most Hondas, especially EK Ballades, they will get extremely rusty right there. And before we end this part, check whether the paint doesn't chip off. If you see a paint has been chipped off, or paint is starting to peel off, then you must know that that person did a crap job in respraying your car over. That is how you know when a car's paint is peeling off. If you see some white bits coming out of the bodywork. And again, I see a lot of Swifts are driving past on the N1, whether it is the GL Plus with the black roof or the GLX. You rarely see the entry level version. So again, if you want to see that video, then a link will be in the description box below to see that video of the all new Suzuki Swift. Alright, let us now finally check the engine bay of a car that you are going to buy. Righto, let's go to the bonnet of this particular car of mine, which you open the driver's door like so. And as you can see here, this thing that looks like a choke, you pull it out, which it will give you a release to open your bonnet. Listen to this. As you can hear, the bonnet has just opened now. If that thing doesn't want to pull out, and you don't hear that that opening sound of your car's bonnet, then you must know there's something wrong with the cable of the bonnet lever to open the bonnet. Your release cable, right? Your release cable. There is something wrong with your release cable, so please take note of that. So let's go and see what is under the engine that you must look out. Right, when you have pulled out that bonnet release thing that you see here, then you come to the bonnet side of the car that you want to buy. So let's go to there. And I will definitely need 2 hands for this one, because this bonnet is a little bit tricky to open up. Right, let's see if I can do it one-handed. Where's that release catch thing? Where is it? Right. As you can see here, this is the engine of this particular car, the Renault Kwid, and I do apologize for the engine bay looking quite dirty as hell. But one thing that you must hold on to the bonnet is that stick right there, which it will hold up your bonnet up. Right? I will see you guys in a sec. I need to put that thing in that place. 2 seconds later, this is the stick thing to hold up your bonnet in place if you want to check what's under the bonnet. This bonnet stick lever, bonnet stick thing. Alright, coming to the engine, as you can see here, this is how your engine bay is supposed to look. On my right side you have your battery. Those are your fuses. These part are your intakes right here. Each intake is somewhere there. That's your brake fluid and your washer bottle, and also your headlight modules on the both sides, as you can see here. Right. If you are buying a second-hand car, make sure you take a mechanic with you who is registered and qualified to check out the health condition of your car. You must check whether the car doesn't have any oil sweat somewhere there, like say down somewhere. Make sure there are no oil sweats in there. You must check also for the oil cap. You must also whether the oil is enough in there. As you can see, this is the oil, the oil. This is the part where you throw in your oil, and there is a dipstick that is coming out from that yellow cap, right? And also you must check whether there are no white stuff coming out of that oil cap. That looks like inkumazi. If you see that white stuff on your oil cap, again you must know there is something wrong with the engine. Let's say you must check whether the car doesn't have any engine problems inside, like your rod, your engine knocking, bearing knocking, or something in that line. That is how your white stuff will appear on the oil cap. And also check whether the engine is in a good condition by checking out its overall health of the engine. Check whether the gasket is still intact, but your mechanic will let you know what needs to be changed under the engine. Alright. And to be honest, my knowledge of engines in working with engines is this low. So that's a loud Cummins engine passing there. My knowledge of working on engines is like this, as you can see. So I also need to learn about how all the things work in a car. But what I do know is when your battery is flat, when your battery is flat, then it will make a gunshot sound when you start the engine. Like 2 months ago, I had an issue with the Kwid's battery where the car didn't want to start at all. I will put in a clip on how to know when your car's battery has run out of its charge. And the other part is check whether the pulleys are intact, like say that pulley right there where the alternator is. And if you start up the car, if you hear a squeaky noise from those belts, then you must know the alternator belt is starting to wear out. And also, speaking of wear out, and if the alternator is not charging the battery, like I just showed you right there, again there is you must change that alternator immediately. Alright, you must change the alternator. And also check whether the engine mounts are still in a good condition. As you can see, that is how the engine mounts look on that side. And somewhere down below, and towards the gearbox somewhere. You must check whether the mounties are in a good condition. If you see a mount is missing, then you must know that engine will have a huge knock effect when you are driving on the road. Let's see what is in here. Check whether your brake booster is in a good condition, but we will talk about that when we are driving the car. And that part that you see there, that is the wiper motor. Like I said, if that wiper motor doesn't wipe the window, doesn't want to wipe the window at all, then you must know there is something wrong with the wiper motor, where you must change it to a different wiper motor, so that you can have your wiper working, especially in raining conditions, like we recently experienced in this week. And also check whether the water bottle in this radiator area is in a good condition. And also check whether the radiator is not broken, as well as that radiator fan, as you can see there, just barely. Check whether the radiator and its fan is working by starting up the car, and maybe say driving it for a few minutes, and let's stop the car and listen whether the fan is engaging. If that fan is not working, then you must know there is something wrong with the radiator fan. So where you must replace the radiator fan or the radiator itself. And also check whether the water bottle, especially its pipes, is not blocked at all, so that the water or coolant can go into the engine in order to cool down your engine. And also check whether this radiator cap is in a good condition. If that radiator cap doesn't want to seal at all, then you must know that radiator cap, so that it can maintain its pressure. Check whether this pipe that you see here goes up into the nozzle. You must check whether this pipe is not clogged up with any dirt or whatsoever. If there is dirt inside this pipe, then you must change the pipe of this water bottle immediately, so that you can have water sprayed into your windows. And when you're buying a car, check as a belief. Don't make the mistake that I did last time. Check whether the water is still in there, and if you see there is no water in there, then you must fill up the water bottle with water in order to clean your windscreen. Alright, and I think that's it for now. Before I end this segment, like I said, if your headlight adjustment doesn't want to go up or down, then you must check where is the headlight adjustment for a car that you are going to buy. On this Kwid of mine, these are your headlight adjustment. On this side and on this side, where you can tune it with a screwdriver in order to move your headlight either up or down. But it is advisable to fix those ASAP when you're buying a car, should the car doesn't want to go up or down in his headlight adjustment. So yeah, those are my basic knowledge on how a car works in general, regarding to its parts, where does it go, and how the parts must look. Like I said, my knowledge of working on the engine are this low, to be honest. This very low. So yeah, your mechanic must check for every single thing that is in this engine bay, including filling up your aircon with refrigerant, as you can see there. Right, let me close the bonnet by lifting up this thing. Let me hold my head in there, and you remove this lever right here and slot it in there. And you slot that thing in there. And let me close the bonnet fully. Before we even close the bonnet, if this bonnet catch that you see here doesn't want to go in there, then you must know there is something wrong with the release catch of the bonnet, or to slot it in place. But it is easy to get those parts at your nearest scrapyard or even at your spare shop. Just check whether that spare shop has this part and that part in stock, because it is sometimes very tricky to get these two things at your nearest spare shop, because they don't stock it for all the cars all the time. Alright, let me close the bonnet, which you let it go like this. And as you can see, the bonnet is secured in place. If the bonnet like I said, if the bonnet doesn't want to stay down at all, then again, like I said, those two parts are worn out. While I'm standing here by the bonnet, I see this side of the light is starting to do that, like on the right side. So I need to do my headlights anyway pretty soon. As you can see, those are those cracky small things that you see here. Yeah, that is from all the years of driving with this car of mine. So anyway, let us now do the lights of a car that you are going to buy. Let's go. Before we even do the lights of a car that you're going to buy, is check whether all the panels in the car are intact. If you see a panel is missing in action, like say at the door, front doors or the rear doors, on the side pillars, front or back, then you must know there you must go to a scrapyard to get those trims for your car. And also regarding to the boot area underneath the board, check whether there is a spare wheel in the car that has been used or whatever. And if you see that tire looks smooth like Inkumazi, then you must replace that tire as well. And also check whether that car has a jack or it's two kits in the boot of a car that you are going to buy, just in case you want to replace a tire that is flat and you have your tools available to change your tires of your car. So now let us do the lights of a car that you are going to buy. Let's go. Right, it is 2 trillion years later, after that walk around of the engine bay, how the engine bay must look. Now it is time to check how the lights should be look like when you are buying a second-hand car. And I will be showing you where this particular car, the Renault Kwid lights are. As you can see there, this is where you put on your headlight and your rear tail lights. As you can see here, if you go like this, then you put on your parks, which I will show you just now. I don't know if you guys can see there by those little lights. As you can see, those are your park lights. And if one of those are not working at all, then you must know the bulbs are not working, or there is something wrong with the electrical part of the park lights. All right, and unfortunately this quad of mine, this particular one doesn't have the fog lights down there, so I can't show you how the fog lights must be look like. All right, and let's go to the back quickly. There you can see this is how your rear lights are supposed to look like. They must be working in a working condition. And let me show you some main lights, how the main lights should be look like. Let's go. Alright, this is your, like I said, your main lights in here, where your indicator stalk is situated. And if you go one step above that, then you will get your, then that thing, that green light that will show you is your main lights that is on. Let me show you quickly. And there you can see the main lights are on, as you can see. Like I said just now in the park lights, if one of those lights doesn't work at all, then you must know so your lights are finished, or there is something wrong with the electrical part of the of that car's light that you are going to buy. Now last year I did get a non-working or headlight on that side, and luckily I replaced it the next day, but it wasn't that expensive, and anyone can change a headlight of a car. I wasn't in the mood to change the headlight, so let us go to the back quickly. And there you can see the rear tail lights are on. And also important to note, make sure your number plate light is illuminating. If that number plate light doesn't illuminate, again, there is something wrong with the electrical system, or maybe let me show you quickly. Yeah, if there's something wrong with that light not working, then you must know your electrical system is faulty, or your bulbs are finished. Let me show you some hazard lights to see how they should be look like when you're putting on your hazard lights. Before showing you that the hazard lights, if you want to make more light in your road that is very dark at night, then your car must have a bright function. In this code, you press down, then you will see a blue symbol right there. And let's go to the front once again. And those are your bright lights, as you can see here. Your bright lights. So again, if those lights are not working, then you must replace them or fix an electrical part of that light. Now let me show you how the hazard lights of a car must look like. Let's go. What I decided to do, instead of showing you some hazard lights that are working, let me show you the indicator lights rather. If you go to your stalk and you press up, then it will show you that arrow right there, as you can see. And let me go to the back. There you can see that light is working, and if that light is flashing very fast like so, where my finger is doing that, again your indicator bulb needs to be replaced immediately. Alright, so now let us take the car for a test drive in order to see how it drives and what are the things that you must look out for when you're buying a second-hand car, alongside with your registered and qualified mechanic. Let's go. Before we even take for a test drive, I forgot to mention about reverse lights. As you can see on this Kwid of mine, it only has a single reverse light. But if your car has two reverse lights, again, make sure they are in a working condition. If that reverse light is not working, and that one is working, or vice versa. Again, a bulb is blown out, or some electrical issues around the reverse light. All right. I don't know if you guys can see, but my headlights are currently on. But if you adjust it like this, by this headlight adjustment just behind my knee, then you must make sure they are in a working condition. Like I said, if that headlight adjustment doesn't work at all, then you must know there is something wrong with the headlight adjustment. Like I showed you in the bonnet of this particular car of mine, there are some adjusters that you can adjust the headlight adjustment. So yeah. Alright, now let us take for a test drive of your future second-hand car that you are going to buy. And the first thing that you must take note is make sure that the seating position that you are sat on the driver's side are very comfortable to sit on. Make sure your seatbelt is buckled up, and make sure that your mirrors on all three corners are adjusted to your preferences. Anyway, let us now start the car. As you can hear, the car has been started up, and if the car doesn't want to start up, then a lot of 1000 things can go wrong with the starting up of the car, like your battery issue, your fueling issue, like the injectors is not working, or it will give you a hard start where you have to press the accelerator pedal in order to start up your car. And or other 1000 things can go wrong in the engine bay, like I just said, your battery or your fueling issue. Right, let us take it for a test drive, which you engage the first gear. You engage the first gear and you put down your handbrake. Let's go, and let us wait for this truck to come past, the Mercedes truck. There we go, let's go. And one thing you must take note is make sure your clutch is very light to pull off. On pull away, the clutch must be very light. If a clutch is very hard like a rock, then there is something wrong with your clutch of your second-hand car that you are going to buy. And also, if the gears are not slotted in place, let's say when you go from first and your second gear doesn't work at all, then there is wrong with your second gear synchro mesh, and why the car doesn't want to go in second gear. Anyway, I had to stop on the side of the road because the new phone mount which I bought a week ago, its magnets doesn't hold up very good. But yeah, let us not complain about that. I have to say, phone mounts these days are very crap, if you ask me. And I just saw the updated Peugeot 2008 passing by, which I forgot to film for you guys. An updated 2008. I wonder how much that car will be costing. But anyway, let's go. As I was saying, if one of the gears doesn't want to slot in place, then you must know there is something wrong with your synchro mesh in the car's gearbox. Like if you go from first to second, but the second doesn't want to go in, that is when your car's synchro mesh is messed up. Anyway, let's go. Yeah, and also make sure the clutch is very light to shift your gears. If the clutch is hard like a rock, your clutch is gone basically. Alright, the next part that you must look out for is, let me close the window, it's quite hot in the car when I'm filming, and this phone does love to overheat for no reason. The first thing that you must take note is check how the car is riding on the road. Like say its suspension, does it soak up the bumps pretty well, or does it have a knock sound from your suspension? And if your car that you're going to buy has a knock sound when hitting a speed bump or a simple bump, then you must know there is something wrong with your car's suspension. Like say your shocks are worn out, your lower control arms are finished, or your ball joints are finished. And while we are waiting for this robot, let me give you guys an accelerate. The robot's just turned red. Anyway, a little bump there, like you must hear, your mechanic must hear if there are any suspension issues with the car that you're going to buy. So let me pause the video right here, and I will see you in a sec when we get to those horrible bumps where I will be driving. Right, let's go. Let's come to this bump. Not bad. But like I said, if the car that you're going to buy doesn't handle the big bumps all that well, then you must know there's something wrong with your car's suspension that you are going to buy. And if that car makes a lot of noise in the suspension, then you must take it immediately to fix it, those suspension components. Otherwise you will have a big problem in driving your car. Like say your car is jumping like a jumping car, so all over the road, and it is quite embarrassing to see how a car is jumping in the road. Another bump here. Right, nice. Here comes 2 speed humps in front of me. Not a problem, but yeah, another small bump there. The second one coming up. Right, like I said, you must take it immediately to fix up that suspension issue where it bounces on the road, or it makes quite a bad noise when you're going on speed humps or even some bumps. Right, let's go this way. Right, and also check whether the suspension is comfortable enough for your daily drives that you are going to take every day. Like say driving from here to wherever, and you must drive in all conditions. I do apologize for putting the phone in the speedometer, in the instrument cluster, because this phone mount, I have to say, it doesn't handle all that well with the heat of power. But anyway, let us move on. When the static comes past, right, let's go. Where was I? Yeah, the suspension. Make sure your suspension is comfortable enough to take the bumps in the road, and also whether it is comfortable enough for your daily drives. You can't drive a car where it can't handle bumps at all. And how to know when your shocks are finished? When it makes a creaking noise, a squeaking noise, almost like there's some hamsters in the shocks. Bloody taxis. Don't know why they stop in the middle of a bloody road. No man, taxis, man, don't do that. You are causing mayhem on the road. No man, no. But maybe not moan too much. That is South Africa, I guess. So yeah, make sure your suspension is in a good order, and check whether this suspension has been modified. Like say, a lot of guys at my age, when they are buying a car, they like to do the suspension first, where they put on some coilovers and lower the car to the ground, where it becomes so undrivable, especially on our roads here in Paarl, where it's a little bit crap, if you ask me. Especially at that piece that I just came from. You can't drive a very lowered suspension here in Paarl. And also, what's also dangerous is a lot of people, they do cut the springs. They do cut the springs in order to make it lower for nothing basically, but that also has a safety risk involved, where if you're driving on the road and your suspension or spring could fall out and you don't have any spring whatsoever to handle the bumps. Alright, so but please make sure that car doesn't have cut springs, as we call the snijbach, where they take a grinder and grind the part of the spring off. Make sure that car doesn't have a snijbach installed, but make sure that car, if that car has a coilover installed, make sure it has his certification in order to say you can drive it legal on the road. Yo, that truck is driving over the circle quite fast and almost like it's falling off. Speaking of pulling away fast, let us do a small acceleration. Yeah, now you need to be super careful, especially here in both circles, because people don't know how to drive a circle here in Paarl. But anyway, like I said, make sure if that car has a lowered suspension, then make sure you have his certification to say that is legal to drive in South Africa, because actually to lower a car in South Africa is very illegal at this time, due to our roads not being maintained properly, and your suspension could fall out while driving. But anyway, when you're driving on the road, especially when you're commuting, make sure you drive mostly. Make sure your first drive must be in town to see how it copes on the road, especially on pull away and stuff like this. Who did a burnout this weekend? Yo, people with M4s and Mustangs loves to do burnouts over the weekend. Anyway, make sure that car that you're going to buy does handle stop start traffic pretty effortlessly. Alright, pretty effortlessly. Like in this case, I am at a robot just outside this flat here, which they call Le Petit Paris. Make sure the car is able to pull away and to have the power to pull away. And again, like I said, if your gears doesn't want to slot in place, your gear synchro mesh is messed up. We will talk about how it drives on the road. Let us take the car that you are going to buy second hand for a spin on the highway to see how it performs there, and also what to look out for when you are buying a second hand car to drive daily on the N1. Let's go. Right, after that disaster of the other day putting you guys in the speedometer, I've managed to fix this phone mount thing of mine. So now let us take the car that you are going to buy second-hand for a spin on the highway. Let's go. And as I'm waiting for the cars to pass by so we can get a gap, I don't want to, yeah, you know, when you get in front of these cars, they like to wood you for no reason, even if they are very far from you. Right after the total, let's go. And I do apologize in advance for the slightly shaky footage that is happening now. This phone mount thing is a little bit unstable. I used the previous phone mount which I had, the Timu one, and installed and took the new one and installed the phone's holder. That is why it is a little bit unstable right now, but in due course I will have to buy a new phone mount so that it can be a lot more stable than this one. While we are waiting at the robot, let us do a slight pull on the hill that we have failed in my first Renault Kwid video. If you haven't seen that video of the full review of the Renault Kwid, then I will put a link in the description box below to see that. Anyway, the robot has just turned green and let's go. It is Friday today, so the roads will be very busy at this time. In fact, it is quite busy today, and everyone is still at home enjoying the off days, right? We have a hill coming up. Let us do an acceleration right here. I will keep quiet. We are cruising around 110 kilometers an hour, and as you can hear in the Renault Kwid particularly, it is very noisy inside. But one thing that I would like to have a comment on, when you're going up a hill, any hill let's say, and your car is starting to misfire, which it happened to me on my 1985 Mitsubishi Tradia, then you must know there is something wrong with that car's fueling system, not giving enough fuel to the engine. I don't know how it is on the fuel injector side, but I've only experienced in my 1985 Mitsubishi Tradia. And while we are driving on the N1, you must hear for any weird noises coming from the car, like say a humming noise, which it will indicate to your wheel bearing is starting to wear out. You know that sound from that wheel bearing. That is how you know that wheel bearing is starting to wear out. So you need to replace that wheel bearing as soon as possible. Even at slow speeds, let's say 50 kilometers an hour and up, you will hear a slight wheel bearing noise. So you have to check that out. Anyway, we will have a moment. We will discuss about its brake system, like now here by the stop street, like so. And make sure when you are driving, you do your observations more than 3 times. You don't know if that person is coming to you and doesn't stop at all. That is why we have so many accidents here in South Africa for people jumping the stop street or even the robot. Yeah, like I said, if you hear a weird sound, let's say from 50 kilometers an hour and up, the wheel bearing is starting to wear out, and you need to replace that. Coming to the brake system, as you guys saw, the Kwid has just braked decently, but if your car that you are going to buy stops longer and your pedal feels quite hard, like a rock, then you must know a lot of things. Your brake pads is starting to wear out, and they will make a squeaky noise when the brake pads are finished. In this quick currently, my brakes are starting to wear out, so I have to change the brake pads pretty soon. Your brake booster is not giving boostage to your brake pedal, so you have to check out that brake booster in order to see whether it is giving some pressure to the brakes. And if that brake booster doesn't give any pressure whatsoever, you need to replace that brake booster immediately. And also check your brake fluid. Check your brake fluid whether your brake fluid is clean or dirty. That can also have an effect on your car's braking performance. And I experienced a lot with the 1985 Mitsubishi Trader. That brake fluid kept leaking out, and you need to throw in every time the brake fluid in order to have some decent brakes on my Mitsubishi Trader. And I think there were some leakage coming out of that brake fluid. So again, you must check for any leakages in the braking system. Alright, you must check for any brake fluid leaks. So yeah, the wind is a little bit strong, but to be fair, we had some rain yesterday, so we are approaching winter here in the Western Cape. We are approaching winter, and as we stop here by the stop street, as you can hear, my brakes doesn't squeak at all. But if you leave early in the morning and your brakes are a little bit on the cold side, it will make a squeak, but then when the car is driving and get some heat in the braking system, then that squeak will go away. Don't worry about that. What else is there for me to tell you? Yeah, that is basically it. If you have any advice on how to listen for more problems when driving on the N1, please comment down below your problems that you have heard while driving on the N1. Alright, but like I said, when you're driving anywhere, like say in town or on the N1, check that the suspension is in a good condition and that they don't knock on small little potholes or even speed bumps. Check whether the clutch is decent and your gears are able to slot in place. But yeah, I do apologize for that. Yeah, like I said, check whether your gears can go in, and if your gears doesn't go in, then its synchronizer is finished. And the final part is check for any weird noises coming from the car, like say a humming noise. That is an indication that your wheel bearing is starting to run out, and you need to replace that. But yeah, let us do another part of the video that I forgot to mention before we end this how to buy a used car or a pre-owned car in South Africa. And if you are enjoying this content, then make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that bell icon for more updates coming to the channel, especially to the Renault Kwid, ownership that is on YouTube now. I will do a part 3 of the Renault Kwid because I just discovered a few days ago that there is some noise coming out when you're turning left, and the clutch for some reason is vibrating. So I need to check in this week that is coming now whether the car's clutch is finished or a mounting has gone wrong, like say engine mounting or gearbox mounting. So I will update you guys about that. Right, let's do the second last part of how to check for more problems on the car that you're going to buy. I forgot to mention in that video of driving on the highway or even in town is if your car is shaking on the road while driving, like say 100 kilometers an hour, then you must know your wheel alignment is out of its order. You need to do a wheel alignment pretty soon with that car. And before you even do that, check whether, like I said, your tires are smooth and whether it is time to replace those tires. And if the car is pulling to the left while you are driving on the road, again, that is a sign for your wheel alignment to be done as soon as possible. Alright, so yeah, let us do the second last part of how to buy a second-hand car. Right, before we end this long video of how to buy a second-hand car in South Africa, and I do apologize for wearing a jacket, it is very cold outside. And we had like I said, some rain yesterday and some cold air which came through yesterday. And it was a bit more colder than today. So we are approaching winter, especially we are in a winter rainfall region. But yeah, let us not talk about the weather or how hot or cold the climate is. If you are buying a car, make sure that you duck down and check whether there are any leakages that are coming from your car. Like I just mentioned, check whether there are any brake fluid leaks. But you must ask your mechanic to identify what fluids are coming out of your car that are leaking, and he will be able to diagnose you what type of fluid is coming out the car. In some cases, there will be a hole that has been formed. You know, some parts can have a wear and tear over the years, and also it can rust. Some of the parts can rust as well. So your mechanic have to check for any leakages that are coming out of your second-hand car that you're going to buy. Check whether the exhaust has a hole in it, and how to diagnose when a car has a hole in the exhaust. You start the car up and you hear like some weird noise, almost like a wind is coming out of the exhaust system. So you must check for any exhaust leakages coming out of your exhaust. And you need to replace that entire exhaust system immediately. Otherwise, your car will sound like a crock. So you decided to buy that second-hand car that you like. Congratulations, you lucky packet. Now it is time to take that car to your mechanic's workshop so that he can do a full investigation on that car, top to bottom. Like say what parts needs to be changed and how much will it cost you. That is very important to do, just in case the car will leave you stranded and you don't know what is wrong with the car. Naturally, you will have to spend quite a bit of money in order to get up to shape. Alright? Don't expect a brand new car like some people do. If you go to a place like say Webuycars or even Facebook Marketplace, don't expect a new car. Don't. You will have to fix some issues that the car is experiencing right now. So please take that in mind. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I do apologize for splitting up the video in two parts. Like say part one was that, and part two is this one that I am recording right now. I just want to save you guys some data because I know data is very expensive to watch these videos. But like I said, if you are new to my YouTube channel, then please hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so that you don't miss a new video coming to the channel. And we are on the road to 1000 subscribers, so please share this YouTube channel with your friends and family so that they can share with their friends and family to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video, which hopefully it will be uploaded after this one. Chop chop. Before we actually end the video, I do want to apologize if you are watching the part 1 video of how to buy a used car for me stuttering too much in that video. I only realized it when I uploaded the video and I didn't edit out my stuttering, right? But if you want to see a part 1 video of how to buy a second-hand car, then I will put a link in the description box below, or alternatively I will put it in the comments down below. Alright, like I said, I will see you guys in the next video. Shop shop. If you are buying a second-hand car, please do your due diligence if you're buying a second-hand car. And if you don't do that, then it will be your own fault for not doing that to inspect your car fully. Man, sir, why don't we see MGs on the road? I've only seen a few. As a belief. Why don't we see MGs on the road? They are so affordable, better equivalent Volkswagen Polo or Polo Vivo. No man,